Assalamu alaikum barakatuh. Karibu tena kwa channel yetu My Tutor, and just likewise we're going to do this paper yani is just a practice question ya trigonometry. Itasaidia wale ambao wako grade 10 waelewe vizuri kuhusu trigonometry, ambao wafanya sahihi katika ndani ya grade 10. So in case you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe. So in case you also want this type of paper, then kindly text me. I'll sell it to you on a reasonable price, hata si pesa mingi 50 sijui nini, bora tu nipate kitu cha kujiendeleza nazo nayo. So yeah, so this is my number, or I might give it to you for free, depends on my mood as well sometimes. So again, if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe to the channel, and also this is a grade 10 paper that you can do it by yourself. So yeah, section A is about the basic trigonometric ratios. We're just reminding ourselves, hizi mshafunza mkiwa grade 9, but still is better to know. So this is a triangle, a right angle triangle in which tayari ushaandikiwa kila kitu. Hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent. Now the name the side that is opposite to angle theta. So the side that is opposite to this one is what we call the opposite, and that is RQ. So the side is RQ. Now name the side that is adjacent to the angle, and that side is this one. Ile ambayo iko adjacent na hii angle ni hii hapa, and that one is PQ. Kila kitu nishaandikia. Then we have the hypotenuse, obviously. So, which is this one. This is the hypotenuse PR. In case you've been asked, you're going to be asked, just know is that. So yeah. And then let's come back to this question. Now write down the formula for sin theta, cos theta, and tan theta in terms of the sides of the triangle. So we know that there's something called STO. So okay. Now if you take sin theta is equal to your just if you take cosine, which is adjacent, and look into the questions. So ukiangalia hapa sin, which is sin this one, let's start with the sin one. So sin theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So tuje hapa tuangalie gani ni opposite yetu. Remember our side which is opposite to that one is this one, that is RQ. So utachukua RQ because in terms of the sides, RQ divided by the hypotenuse, which is PR. So RQ over PR. Now that is sin. Cos theta is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, and your adjacent hapa karibu tushaandika, and that is PQ. So PQ over the hypotenuse, which is PR. And then we have the tan. The tan is equal to your opposite over adjacent. So that is your opposite over, sorry, that is not your opposite. Your opposite over adjacent. That is going to be RQ over PQ. So in short, hapa ni RQ over PQ. So those are the ones, the formulas for the ones that is on the triangle. Question 2. In triangle ABC, angle C is 90, BC is 15, and AC is equal to 8 centimeter. The first question is asking you to calculate the length of AB, that is the hypotenuse. Now to calculate the length of AB, because all sides are given, you will therefore use something called Pythagoras theorem. And Pythagoras theorem tutajua kama hii ni A, hii ni B, the longest side ni C. So the formula says A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So A squared ni A squared plus 15 squared is going to be equal to C squared. So if I add the two, 8 squared and 15 squared, 8 squared plus 15 squared is going to give you 289 is equal to c squared by square root. If I square root this one, your c is going to be square root of 289 is going to be 17 centimeters. And therefore this c is 17 centimeters. So that is the length of AB using Pythagoras theorem. Now, question B, determine the sine cos theta, sin theta, cos theta, and tan theta, leaving your answers fractions in the simplest form. So let's just write it here. Itakuwa ni rahisi kwetu. So now, make sure you highlight everything hapa, ujue opposite yako ni gani na nini adjacent yako. So opposite yako is normally this one. Hii ndo adjacent yako, opposite to the angle, na hii ndo hypotenuse yako. Sawa. So in case watafuta sin theta, sin tunasema from the word itself, so sin is given by opposite over hypotenuse, and therefore your opposite over your hypotenuse, so which is 8 over the hypotenuse, which is 17. Cos theta tumesema your cos theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Wacha tufute hii so that we don't get confused after that. So your cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, so in A over H. Now, so your adjacent is 15, your hypotenuse is 17, so you take 15 over 17. Now, then we have tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So your opposite is 8 and your adjacent is 15. So opposite yako ni 8 and adjacent yako ni 15, and therefore your answer is 8 over 15. So those are your answers. So you can write it here. So sin theta is equal to that is 8 over 17. Now cos theta is equal to is it 15? Yes, 15. 15 over 17. And last but not least, tan theta is equal to 8 over 15. So those are your answers. Let's go to the other question. So this is a similar question like that. In the right angle triangle XYZ, below angle Y is equal to 90, the hypotenuse XZ is 26 centimeter and YZ is equal to 10 centimeter. Use Pythagoras theorem to find the length of X, Y. So if this is A and this is B, this is C. We are searching for B, and therefore we use C squared longest side minus, that's minus B squared for now because we don't know B, minus A squared is equal to B squared. So our C being 26 squared minus A squared, which is 10 squared, is equal to A squared. So ukiangalia 26 squared is 676 minus 10 squared, which is 100, is equal to A squared. So 676 minus 100 gives you 576. If you subtract it over 576 and you square root this, and therefore A is equal to square root that one. So square root of 576 is 24 centimeters. So that is the length of XY, which we found it. Determine now sin Z, cos Z, and tan Z. Ikiwa tayari ushaelewa, just rewind back a little bit. So sin Z, cos Z na tan Z. Wacha tufanye tukiona hiyo triangle vizuri. Ndio hii at least iwe rahisi ujue sin hii. Now, wacha tufute hii AB, but we know our XY is 24. So let's write as 24 here. So now what we're concentrating now is on Z, the angle at Z. And the angle at Z is at the top now. Haiko hapa sasa. So it's at the top. So at the top, ikiwa iko at the top, opposite itakuwa ni nyingine. The opposite is this one. So in short, 24 centimeter is the opposite. And then we have the adjacent. The adjacent is 10 centimeter. And then we have the hypotenuse, which is 26 centimeter. And obviously, using that thing, so ka, so that is, let's start with sine. So sine z is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Your opposite is 24 over hypotenuse ni 26. So the 24 over 26 is better to simplify. So divide by 2 ni 12 over 13. Cos z. Cos z ni ka, ni adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent yako ni 10 over hypotenuse ni 26. So 10 over 26, which if you simplify is going to give you 5 over 13. Then finally we have tan z. And tan z is very simple as well, is equal to opposite over adjacent. So opposite yako ni 24 over your adjacent, which is 10 centimeter. So if you simplify it, divide by 2, 12, divide by 2, 12, divide by 2, 5. So your answer is 12 over 5, 5 over 13, 12 over 13, and those are your answers. As simple as that. Unaona? Haina haja hata niandike hapo chini. But let me just write it for the case. So sin z tunasema ni 12 over 13 in simplest form. Umeulizwa hata in simplest form. Cos z ni 5 over 13 na tan z ni 12 over 5. Up, up, up. Simple. Next question. Next question. That is this one. Hence write down the value of sin x. So sin x tuje tena hapo juu. Sawa? Sin x. Sin x ni hii hapa. Sawa? Na sasa hapa mambo yabadilika. Mambo yamechemka. So sasa kama x yako ni hapa, sin yake itakuwa tofauti. So opposite ni hii na adjacent itakuwa ni hii na hypotenuse itakuwa ni hii. So sin x, not sin z. Sin x is equal to opposite of hypotenuse. The opposite is 10 over hypotenuse, which is 26. So 10 over 26 is supposed to give you 5 over 13. So sin x is equal to 5 over 13. So that is that. So sin x is equal to 5 over 13. In short, sin x is equal to cos z. Ukaangalia vizuri sana, because whatever opposite ya x is the adjacent to z. So ukiangalia vizuri, this is your cos and this is your sin. Ewe haitaki kuandika, but this is your sin. Okay, question 4, using a calculator or mathematical tables, find the value of the following correct to 4 decimal places. Wacha tuanze na calculator, then a mathematical table. Calculator, and then mathematical table, which is going to be very easy. Calculator, obviously, njoo na calculator tu. For me, hii ndo calculator yangu, nitaitumia hii hapa ikiwaona. So kuna pahali utaona sin. Yeah. So utabofa, wacha tu remove hii tu mwanzo. Yeah. So hapa kuna calculator yako, utaona sin. So utabofa sin and then utabofa 48, which should give you ewe ni kali hiyo calculator gani, but yani I should give you sin 48, and it should give me ewe kidogo. Okay, hii calculator yangu iko na mtihani, but all in all huwa hapa tutabofa 48 then waingia kwa hii calculator sin. Lakini kwako kwenye calculator yako ya scientific bofa sin mwanzo then 48 itakupa answer directly. Hii yangu ndo iko na mashida mingi, so for now just understand how I put it. So sin 48 ukiweka kwenye calculator yako itakupa, wacha tuiangalia vizuri, itakupa 0.7431 to 4 decimal places, so ni 7431. 0.7431. So that is your answer. So let's just do the calculator one, then tutaingia kwa mathematical table. So calculator, hakuna table. So for the calculator one, obviously utabofa cos for 48, in which kwenye calculator yangu nitaanza kubofa 48 lakini then cos, but yours utaanza kubofa hiyo cos then 48. So hii answer ni 0.6691. 0.6691. Niangalia na calculator yangu cos 48, yeah, ni hiyo. Sawa. Na last one is tan 48, calculator, and then you have the table. The table one tutaifanya, so don't worry. So tan 48 is going to be, if you use the calculator, utabofa wacha tutoe 48 obviously, then tutabofa tan, which is 1.1106. 111, sawa, 1.1106, 4 decimal places. Sawa, ataweza angalia calculator yako pia uka confirm like 4 decimal places, hujaambiwa 4 significant figures, 4 decimal places. Sawa, now let's look at the tables. Sawa, in the table wacha tuingie katika pahali yaitwa natural signs, na hapo tutafuta sign ya 48. So nenda scroll mpaka upate sin 48. So hii ni 48, sin 48 ni 0.7431. So answer hapa ni 0.7431, which is just the same scenario. So katika table pia ukienda kwa cos 48, naenda kwa natural cos 48 hapo hapa, which is 0.6691, which is the same 6691. Naenda kwa tan, kwa itaingia kwa natural tan, utafuta 48, which will also be 1.1106. So ni 1.1106. Umeona, answer ni ile ile tu, which is just the same whether you are using a calculator or mathematical table. Now, question 5, using a calculator or mathematical tables, find angle theta correct to 1 decimal place given that sin theta is equal to 0.6820. So hapa sin theta, we'll start using a calculator. Calculator, and then we have tables. Now calculator wise, kama unataka kupata theta, because sin theta is equal to 0.6820, we want to search for theta, you do something called sin inverse of 0.6820. So inside your calculator, both have shift plus the sign, itakupa kitu kama hii. Sawa, so ukibofa shift and sign itakupa kitu kama hiyo. Therefore let's use the calculator one first, tuone kama kuna kitu kama hiyo hapo. Baya hakuna shift wala nini, which is somehow very tricky. Let's see functions, na hakuna, it becomes somehow very hard. Hakuna kabisa. So let's just use the normal calculator that we have. So sin inverse is 0.6820. Using your calculator, theta yako ni 43.0, 1 decimal place hiyo. So tutumie two tables na mapema, tafuta kwa sin, tafuta answer sasa ya 0.4820. So 0.4820 tutaanzia hapa. So angalia hapa, tafuta 0.4820, angalia kwa answers 4848 hapa. Sawa, ushafika hapa 48, ishapita 4820, itabidi sasa twende tutafute 4848484802 na kuna 4818. So ukiangalia 4818 hiyo ni around 28 point. Am I writing the correct thing? Hii ni 6820. Kwa maana nashangaa. So utatafuta 0.6820, 6820, 6820, 6820 utashuka mpaka upate. So this is 43.0. So if you use the table, lazima utatafuta sin inverse ya 0.6820 and which utaiona kwenye answers, which will also give you 43.0. So cos theta is equal to 0.3746. So again, you want to search for theta. So theta yako utafanya cos inverse ya 0.3746. Again, press shift together with the cos, utapata cos inverse, then utaandika cos inverse ya 0.3746. So cos inverse of 0.3746 is going to give you theta equal to 68.0. Sawa, ukitumia hapa, you're using your tables, obviously it's going to give you the same thing, like let's just confirm. Twende kwa 0.3746 kwa cos sasa 0. Waangalie answers 0.374. Hii hapa zapungua huwa 0.3746 huwa zapungua, shuka 0.3746 utashuka mpaka utafika. So this is 68.0. So theta yetu hapo pia ni 68.0. Tan theta equal to 1.2708. Again, do the same thing. Both are shift, then that tan. So for you to get theta, tan inverse of 1.2708. Let's see how much is it going to give us. Using our own calculator, shift, then 1.2708 is going to give us 51.8. 51.8. So using the same thing also, so theta hapa using tables and inverse of 1.2708. So njoo hapa 1.2708, 1.2708 washuka mpaka upate 1.2708. Uko na kitu hapo 1.2349, 2708, shuka nenda hivi, so umepata, that gives you 51.8 as well. So theta yetu ni 51.8 degrees. Remember hapa hii ni 8, hii ni 51, so ni 51.8 here. So that is your answer. Now section C, sines and cosines of complementary angle. Recall that if A and B are complementary angles, it means that A and B is equal to 90. So this means that sin A is equal to cos B. Na nadhani mwakumbuka wakati tulikuwa tufanya if maybe hii ni 60, hii ni 30 na ukapata 3, 4, 5, sin 60 is equal to 3/5, opposite over hypotenuse. Cos 30 is also the same, which will be equal to 3/5. And from this rule, we found out that these angles are normally complementary angles and they add up to 90 degrees. So it's sine and cosine, they are similar, but the angles are complementary angles. So that is why sin A is equal to cos B, as long as A and B add up to 90 degrees or a complementary angle. So for example, this question, umeambiwa sin 62 is equal to cos x. Now ukaambiwa find the value of x. So what we know that these two angles, which is 62 and x, if you add them, is supposed to give you 90 degrees. So if you want maybe to find for x, what do you know? What do you need to do? Peleka 62 the other side. Therefore, we subtract 62, and therefore x is equal to 90 minus 60. And that gives you 28. The value of x is 28. Maybe another way of finding out is very simple. You just take the 90 minus the 62 and you get the answer directly. That's also another way of finding the value of x. Utachukua vile wajua hii na hii, if you add them gives you 90. So we just take 90 minus 62. That is x itself, and that is 28 degrees. 2 marks za bure. But what if we also have another question like this? Umeambiwa cos 15. Cos 15 is equal to sin y. Find the value of y. So again, 15 plus y is equal to 90. Y is equal to 15. Ukipeleka the other side ni 90 minus 15, and therefore y is equal to 90 minus 15, which is 75 degrees. So y ni 75 degrees. Siona as simple as that. Wacha tuangalie swali lingine pia, tuangalie kama ni hiyo hiyo same thing or on a different question. Find the value of a given that the equation uko na sin a plus 10 is equal to cos 3a. Inamaanisha kwa hii plus c equal to 90. So a plus 10 plus 3a 90 degrees. Sawa? A plus 3a ni 4a plus 10 is equal to 90 degrees. 10 peleka the other side minus 10 going to be 80. 4a 80 divide by 4 divide by 4. And therefore a is equal to 20 degrees. That is your answer. Let's try out this one question also. So umeambiwa cos 2b minus 6, that's minus 6, okay, is equal to sin bracket b plus 39. Jaribu pause the video, do it by yourself. So 2b minus 6 plus b plus 39 is equal to 90 degrees. So 2b plus b, 3b minus 6 plus 39 will give you, itakupa plus 33 is equal to 90. 33 peleka the other side, itakuwa minus 33. So 90 minus 33 ni 57. 3b is equal to 57. Divide by 3, divide by 3, b is equal to 19 degrees. So this is your answer as well. Section D, trigonometry ratio. Answer this question without using a calculator or max table. You may use the exact values of sin, tan of that 5. Na hapo kabla nimeuliza without using a calculator, evaluate the following leaving sad answers in the simplest form. Now kabla tuja evaluate tujue hizo zote. So usually the easiest way that I usually do, kwa sababu hii nadhani mfunzo pia, kuna njia mbili. I'll show you both. So kuna kitu zaitwa special angles. Kwa mfano sin 60 wajua answer yake itakupa hivi, sin 30 and etc. So for example hapa ni 60. Hapa ni 60. This is an equilateral triangle. Hapa pia ni 60. So we assume that 60 60, this is an equilateral triangle. We assume hapa zote ni 2 2 na 2 centimeter. What happens if you divide it into 2? So hii 60 ukidivide mara mbili itakuwa 30 na 30. Unaona hapa ni 30 na hapa ni 30. So utadivide hiyo 2 pia mara mbili. So ile 2 pia utaigawanya mara mbili iwe hapa ya power 1 na hapa ya power 1. So hypotenuse yako in short ni 2. So hypotenuse yako ni 2. Na hii one of the sides is 1. So to get this side, which is the height of that right angle triangle, which is this one, ni rahisi. Utatumia Pythagoras theorem. And therefore you're going to do 2 squared minus 1 squared then square root it. So itakuwa 4 minus 1 then square root ya kuwa root 3. So hapa tayari wajua ni root 3. So in short, hii kuliko kuandika hivi vote, wacha tuandike simpler way. Simpler way ni hivi. Simplest way, kwa vile tuligawanya tukasema tuligawanya, hapa ni 1, hapa ni 2, alafu hapa ni 60 na hapa ni 30. So ile opposite ya 60 tumpata ni root 3 from Pythagoras theorem, 2 squared minus 1 squared. So ukitafuta sin ya 60, cos ya 60, tan ya 60, tafute. Yeah. We're also going to search for sin 30, cos 30 na tan 30. So tuanze na sin 30. Sin obviously, so katoa sin is equal to opposite of hypotenuse. So opposite ya root 3 ni hii over hypotenuse yako. So root 3 over, so lazima ujue cos 60 adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent ya 60 ni hii hapa over hypotenuse yako ni hii hapa. So ni 1 over 2. Tan 60. Tan 60 tumesema ngoja mwanzo. Cos 60 tunasema 1 over 2. Wacha tuiandike vizuri. Tan 60 tunasema ni opposite of adjacent, which is root 3 over 1. So root 3 over 1, which is just root 3. Sin 30. Sin 30 opposite ya 30 iko hapa, so usije ukakorogeka. So sin 30 ni opposite of hypotenuse, which is 1 over 2. Sawa, wacha tupute hizi mwanzo. So equal to 1 over 2. Cos 30 ni adjacent. Adjacent yake ni root 3 over 2. So utaandika root 3 over 2. Sawa. Then the last one is tan 30, which is opposite of adjacent. Opposite yake ni 1 over adjacent yake ni root 3. So which is 1 over root 3. So these are your answers for the sine, for the cosine, and etc. Hopefully tumeelewana mpaka hapo. Ni sawa mpaka hapo. Now let's go to the 45. Now the 45 normally is a drawing that looks like this. So hapa ni 90, hapa ni 45 na hapa ni 45. So kwa vile kuna 45 to 45, nikiweka 1 hapo pia itakuwa ni 1. So kupata hii hypotenuse 1 squared plus 1 squared and square root it. 1 plus 1 ni 2, square root ya 2 gives you your hypotenuse. So hapa tayari tushapata kitu kama hiyo. So now it's much easier to know the sine and the cosine and the tangent. So the sine 45 is equal to opposite of a hypotenuse. So whichever one that you take, is kupata opposite ni whichever itakuwa same. 1 over root 2. Cos 45 is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent yako ni hii, sawa, over hypotenuse yako, which will also be giving you 1 over root 2. So remember, whichever angle that you use is much likely the same. Tan 45 opposite over adjacent, so which ni 1 over 1. So is 1 over 1. So ambao ni just 1. Sawa. Ukiona hii vizuri, waona it gives you a bigger picture. That is also the combined one. Na kuna ile ya rahisi pia, which we can also show you. Kuna simplest way ya kujua hizi vitu, but let me just show it to you. This is one way. Na najua wanafunzi wetu ni wazembe, so hataki long method, they want the shortcuts one. Sio, people like shortcuts mpaka katika max nini, ukipata exam papers pia shortcut utafuta gomba. So mimi acha nikupe gomba lenyewe in case ukipata swali kama hii. So what we know is that we have sine. Okay, kumbuka kuna sine, cosine na tangent. Kuna kitu hapa nafaa nitoe. Acha tuanze na 0, then 30, 45. So 0, 30, 45, then 90. Now the easy way hizi vitu ni tutaanza na 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then even though ni kidogo hapo utaanza na 4, 3, 2, 1 and then sasa hii 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 utapiga square root divide by 2, 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 and square root divide by. The same thing goes to this cos as well. Square root divide by 2, 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 and square root divide by 2. So ukianza na sine hii, square root ya 0 divide by 2 is just 0. So sine ya 0 hata ukiweka kwenye calculator yako itakupa 0, waweza uka confirm pia. Sin 0 is 0. Square root ya 1/2 is just square root, itakupa 1/2. Ndio maana sin 30 ni 1/2. Square root ya 2/2 is just square root 2/2, in which originally inatokana 1 over square root 2, which is this one, but you can also just leave it this way. Haina haja because tumefanya kitu inaitwa rationalization. So remember this is just the same as root 2/2. Sija ukakoroga kaona bona ni tofauti, ziko sawa, na nikikuelezea itakukoroga, but let's see. 1 over square root 2 kuna kitu inaitwa rationalization. If I multiply by root 2 multiply by root 2 itanipa kitu root 2/2. So ndio maana sin 45 ni root 2/2. Ni sawa. Then we have root 3/2 sin 60. And then root 4/2 is root 4 ni 2, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. Sawa. Then cos ni root 4/2, so itakuwa 2 divided by 2 ni 1. Then uko na hii root 3/2, sija ukakoroga ukaona root hii nzima ni ya 3 na 2. No, just for root 3. The same thing goes with this one. Hii ni root 2/2. Kwa maana sasa cos na sin ya 45 is just the same, na hii ni root 1/2, and sija ukaona ni root nzima, so root 1/2 and square root of 0 divide by 2. Ukichukua cos 90 itakupa 0, so 0 divided by 2 bado ni 0. Now this is another thing that I'll teach you, that is about tan. If you take tan of anything or tan theta, is just the same as saying sin theta over cos theta. So for this question utapata kuwa 0 divide by 1, tan yake 0 divide by 1 ni 0. So ukichukua half divide by root 3/2 itakupa tan sasa, which is itakupa tan ya 30. So a half divide by root 3, a half divide by root 3/2, which will give you a half divide by root 3/2, a half times 2/3, which is 1/3. Now, so yeah, then 45 sin yake divide by cos yake, which will give you, I think, 1. So just simple maths. Okay, let me confirm with you so that you can. So kwa mfano wataka kupata tan 45, utachukua tan but sin 45 divide by cos 45. Sawa, sin 45 ni root 2/2. Sawa, divide by cos 45, which is also root 2/2. Ukiweka kwenye calculator yako ama ukisimplify this normally, root 2/2 division inakuwa multiplication, so 2/2. So utasimplify utapata 1 at the end of the day. So hii ni 1. So the same thing goes to tan 60 pia, which will give you sin 60 over cos 60. So sin 60 over cos 60. So which is sin 60 over cos 60. Sin 60 ni root 3/2 over cos 60 ni root 1/2, which is just 1/2. Haina haja tuandike mambo mingi. So which is a half. So again, root 3/2 divide by a half becomes times 2/1, which is just root 3. So hapa ni root 3, and 1 divided by 0 is just undefined. That is why tan 90 is undefined. Vitu ambavyo tushajua tu hivyo hivyo. So this is a shortcut way of knowing sin 60 cos 60 sijui nini, ama kama hii hutoshika tumia ile ya triangle one. So whichever method that you use is acceptable. Now let's come back to this question. Without using a calculator, evaluate the following, leave inside answers in their simplest form. Now sin 30 can be written as a half. So utachukua a half times cos 60. It can be written as this is cos 60, which is a half. Acha tu hizi highlighter zitatusaidia, lakini sasa tukitumia kwa kila mahali italeta balaa pia. So wacha tutumie hii highlighter. So cos 60 ni a half. Sawa. So times cos 60 which is a half plus tan 45. Tan 45 yetu ni hii hapa which is 1. So plus 1. So half times a half ni a quarter plus 1 is just 1 1/4. Ama ukitaka waweza ukaandika 5/4. So that is the answer. Now, how about this cos 60 divided by tan 45 plus sin 30? So wacha tuangalie cos 60 ni ngapi. Sawa. Cos 60 ni hapa. So cos 60 is this one, a half. So utaandika hapa a half divide by tan 45. Tan 45 tunasema ni 1. So 1 divide by 1 plus sin 30. Sin 30 ni a half plus a half. Huwa zatokea mara nyingine, but I don't know what to do. So a half divided by 1 plus a half. So a half, if you divide it by 1, it's just going to give you a half. Hakuna kitu yabadilika. Plus a half, you're going to get, because this one is both mass ones and a division, then addition. So a half plus a half is going to give you a quarter. And that is your answer. Now, what about this? Hii sin squared 30 plus cos squared 30. Simplify and comment on your results. So sin squared 30 plus cos squared 30. Hii sasa yamaanisha umechukua sin 30 ukamultiply na sin 30, ndio maana ukapata sin squared 30. Na cos squared 30 ulichukua cos 30 ukamultiply na cos 30. Sawa? So njoo hapa, sin 30 na cos 30 ni muhimu. Sin 30 tunasema ni a half. Cos 30 ni root 3 over 2. So sin 30 ni a half, so times a half. Hiyo ni sin 30 times sin 30 plus cos 30 ni root 3 over 2. Yes, times root 3 over 2. A half times a half will give you a quarter. Root 3 over 2 itakupa root 3 times root 3 ni 3. 2 times 2 ni 4. So 3 over 4. A quarter plus 3 over 4 is 4 over 4, which is just 1. So your resultant answer is 1. Now, simplify and comment on your results. What comment should I give it? Is that it gives you 1. Okay, question 11. Without using a calculator, show that tan 60. Hebu kidogo, kuna hizi pen zangu za feki feki, neno ingine. So tan 60, that is this one, tan 60 minus tan 30, umesema itakuwa equal to 2 root 3 over 3. So now let's find tan 60 yenyewe ni ngapi? Kumbuka tulipo tushaandika hapo tan 60 and what tan 30. Oh, tuje hapa kidogo. Tan 60 ni root 3 na tan 30 ni tan 30 ni, so tan 60 root 3, tan 30 ni 1 over root 3. So tan 60 ni root 3, tan 30 ni 1 over root 3. Sawa. Okay, so hii utasubtract kama kawaida. So obviously hapa the common factor is root 3 over LCM yake ni root 3 obviously, ama the easiest way ni kufanya hivi tu, kwa sababu hapa tayari tuko na root 3. So wacha hii to multiply na root 3 and also this one to multiply by root 3 so that the denominators become the same. So root 3 times root 3 ni 3 over root 3 times 1 ni root 3. So minus 1 over root 3. So 3 minus 1 ni 2 over root 3. Now kuna kitu yaitwa rationalization. We multiply by its conjugate. You multiply by the root 3 times root 3 because you cannot have denominators as irrational numbers. So answer yako itakuwa 2 root 3. Root 3 times root 3 ni 3. And that is why this gives you the answer that they wanted you to find. So yep, let's continue. Question 12. A ladder uh, rest against a vertical wall so that it makes an angle of 65 degrees with the level ground as shown below. So this is the ladder that you have here. The ladder is 6 meters long. You have the wall. Now, most of the questions is usually asking you how high up the wall the ladder reaches. And the second question, calculate the distance of the foot of the ladder from the wall. So ukiangalia swali la kwanza is mostly is asking you to calculate for the height of that wall. Now, what we have here, that height of the wall represents the opposite. Now, and this one represents the hypotenuse. So hii ni opposite, hii ni hypotenuse. So ukiangalia soka toa, soka and toa, the one that usually has the one that usually has both opposite and hypotenuse is so. That is sine is equal to opposite of a hypotenuse. And therefore sine 65 is equal to your opposite, which is x, which you don't know, because that's the height of the wall. X, this is the opposite over hypotenuse. X over 6. For you to find x, you multiply by 6. You multiply by 6, and therefore x is equal to 6 sine 65. So x is equal to, let's see how much x gives us. So x is equal to 6 sine 65, which is 5.438 meters. So that is your answer. So the height is equal to 5.438 meters. Question B. Calculate the distance of the foot of the ladder from the wall. And that is Mauliza from here. Let me use another color. From here to here, the green one. So I need the base of it. So for us to calculate that one, you can use Pythagoras theorem. That is, because that is B. Kama hii ni A, hii ni B, this is C. So for you to get B or B squared is equal to C squared minus A squared. So C squared yako, your hypotenuse 6 squared minus the A squared, which is 5.438 squared. Then for us to get B, it lazima uta square root up. So B equal to, so 6 squared minus 5.438 squared. Then square root the answer is going to give you 2.535. 4 significant figure, and that is the answer. So hapa ni 2.535. Or we can use an alternative that we can use is basically the other alternative that we can use is which one? Which method? Yeah, using trigonometry. So well, we know that this one is the adjacent. So you can use any. So ka toa yoyote. But bora tu iwe na adjacent. Let's use ka for now. So we can use toa pia, lakini you can't use sine because there's no adjacent to any one of them. So let's use ka, which is cos theta or cos 65 is equal to your adjacent, and your adjacent is not known, over your hypotenuse, which is 6. So am I correct? Cos 65 is equal to adjacent over 6. Okay. Then you multiply by 6, multiply by 6. And therefore x is equal to 6 times cos 65. So value yako ya x itakuwa ni ngapi? 6 cos 65 will give you 2.536. Umeona, the difference is just minimum. Kile ambacho umepata hapo pia is just much likely the same. Now let's go to the other question. Question 13, in triangle ABC, angle C is 90, angle B is 38, and BC is 12 centimeter. So which is this one? Question says calculate the length of the hypotenuse AC. AC yako ni hii hapa. The length of the hypotenuse AC. pia haihitaji, but that's not your hypotenuse by the way. Hebu tuone kidogo, tuende okay. Calculate the length AB. That's not your hypotenuse. But all in all, hii haifai. The length of AC. So maybe there was a confusion. So AC ni hii hapa. So kupata hiyo AC, we know that this one is opposite and this one is adjacent, and therefore kitu ambayo iko na opposite na adjacent ni toa, so katoa, because we know that tan theta is equal to opposite. So tan angle, which is tan 38, is equal to opposite, which we don't know, which is x over. So if I was to search for x, you do the same thing, 12 times 12 times 12. That is 12 times tan 38. Let's see how much it's going to give us. X is going to be equal to 12 tan 38. It's going to be 9.375. 9.375 centimeter. So that is your answer. The second question is asking you obviously to find the length of AB. And AB is your hypotenuse. Na hapo pia tutatumia Pythagoras theorem, or you can use trigonometry if you want, but let's use Pythagoras theorem for now. So opposite yako tayari wajua ni 9.375 centimeter. You don't know this AB. So this is your A, this is your B, so this is your C. A squared plus B squared equal to C squared. The two squares, the squares of the two shorter sides gives you the square of the longer side. So 9.375 squared. So 9.375 squared plus 12 squared. If I'm not wrong, is it? Yes. Plus 12 squared is equal to C squared. So if you want to find the value of C, you just square root 9.375 square plus 12 square. Down. So first add, square it and then add. So that 9.375 squared plus 12 squared gives you 231.89. Then square root it. Your value for C will be 15.23. So that is your answer. Now, do not commit this mistake. Most of the students do this. 9.375 squared plus 12 squared. Then square root wapiga hivi. Hii ya cancel, that is very wrong. Do not do that. Square 8, but we shall square add the two squares and then square root it. You get the answer. Now, this is another question, an interesting question. Given that cos theta, that is cos theta, is equal to 7 over 5. And theta is an acute angle. Find without using a calculator the value of sin theta and tan theta. So, now for this type of question, we do a drawing and then hapa tutaweka theta. We know that cos theta is equal to θ, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. So our adjacent is 7, hypotenuse is 25. So hypotenuse here to happen is 25. Remember this is 90 degrees. Our adjacent to that theta is 7. So we need to find out what is this value. And how do you use it? How do you find it? Obviously, you take the obvious thing, that is c squared minus a squared equal to b squared. So 25 squared minus 7 squared. Kupata b itabidi sasa square root that thing. So 25 squared minus 7 squared, then square root it. 25 squared minus 7 squared ni 576. Square root that, and square root of 576 would give you 24. So the answer is 24 here. This is not the final answer. Just got this one to be 24. Now there's two ways, obviously. Once to shapata cos theta, obviously shape, you can search for sin theta. For us to search for sin theta, we need to know sin theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So so katoa from the word so opposite ya hiyo theta is 24 and your hypotenuse is basically 25. So sin theta is equal to 24 over 25. That is your answer for sin theta. Then how about tan theta? Now if you remember clearly, kuna swali moja nikawaelezea kuhusu tan theta, and tan theta is just a ratio between sin theta and cos theta. That is sin theta over cos theta. So our sin theta is 24 over 25 divided by cos theta, which is 7 over 25. So 24 over 25, division inageuka kwa multiplication, but you're going to do the reciprocal of 7 over 25, which is 25 over 7. 25 cancels out, and you're going to remain with 24 over 7, and that is your answer. So another way maybe you can do, you can use the triangle itself. So tan theta, we know it's opposite over adjacent. So opposite yake ni 24, adjacent yake ni 7. So it's equal to 24 over 7 as well. But now the main question was looking on this, kwa sababu ndo maana mark zake kidogo ni nyingi. So they were looking at this, whether you know how to use tan theta. So now section F, that is angles of elevation and depression. A boy standing 25 meters from the foot of a vertical flagpole observes the angle of elevation of the top of the flagpole to be 22. So kama mtu ni observer hapa, angle of elevation mpaka top of the flagpole, this is now called angle of elevation. Tayari nishawachorea, so haina haja hata stress. So that is angle of elevation. Angle of depression ni hii hapa. So this is angle of depression. An angle of elevation is similar to angle of depression, but this one is not angle of depression. That's where most of the students usually confuse. So here you see angle of depression. Sawa, kwa maana sometimes utapewa swali angle of depression na wachora vibaya. So angle of elevation yako ni 42 degrees, and the boy is standing 25 meters from the foot of a vertical flagpole. That is this one. So this is the flagpole, and this is where the boy is standing from. So he's standing 25 from the foot of a vertical flagpole. Now the main question comes here. What are we searching for? See, question says calculate the height of the flagpole correct to 2 decimal place. So uko na angle, uko na adjacent, sawa, na waulizwa opposite si hypotenuse. So na kitu ambayo iko na opposite na hypotenuse, obviously opposite na kitu ambayo iko na opposite na adjacent from the word itself, so katoa ni toa peke yake, which is tangent, and therefore we'll write it as tan 42 degrees is equal to your opposite, which we don't know, over your adjacent, which is 25. So let's search it for it. So times 25 times 25. So this one cancels out, tutabakiwa na h peke yake. So 25 times tan 42, and you're going to get 22.51. Naambiwa two decimal places. So this is your answer. On as simple as that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Swali lingine, from the top of a vertical cliff 80 meters high, the angle of depression of a boat out at sea is 27 degrees as shown below. Those are 4 marks. Question says calculate the distance d of the boat from the base of the cliff correct to 2 decimal places as well. So this is your angle of depression. So, and the cliff is 80 meters, if I'm not wrong, yeah. And they're asking you to find the distance that is of the boat. Now, obviously, ukiangalia, this is depression, this is elevation. Angle of depression is equal to elevation. Sawa. So tayari ikiwa ushapewa depression, utaandika, utachora elevation pia, kwa sababu hii ndio itakusaidia kutafuta distance. Now again, this is opposite, and this is adjacent, so utatumia toa bado, which is tan 27 is equal to opposite yako which is 80 divide by adjacent yako which we don't know which is x. Now hapa x yetu iko chini, x yetu iko chini. The easiest way kutafuta x ikiwa chini, we normally substitute. X itaenda pale ambapo kuna tan 27 na tan 27 itaenda pale ambapo kuna x, so 80 divided by tan 27. Now another mistake that students do, hapa washajua ni tan 27 is equal to 80 over x. Nikiwaambia wazi replace, they usually do this way, wataleta x, watabakisha tan, then watachukua 80 divided by 27. This is wrong, don't do that. Kama kupeleka peleka yote pamoja na tan yake, ndio maana hiyo tan imeenda chini na x ikaenda juu, so it becomes easier to find the value of x. So you take 80 divided by tan 27 which will give you 157.22 decimal places ni 0.01 meters, not 00 but 01. So very simple, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Question 17, from the top of a vertical tower 150 meters high, ishachorewa. Hii ndio top of a vertical tower 150 meters high. Umeambiwa, kumbuka hizi nimewachorea na kitabu huwa hauchorewi, ni wewe ndio wafaa uchore. The angle of depression of two cars. Sawa? That is the angle of depression of two cars. Ya kwanza ni kutoka hapa mpaka hapa, and then the other one ni hapa. So A and B on a straight level road on the same side of the tower are 25 degrees and 40 degrees respectively. So hii ambayo iko na kubwa, angle kubwa ni 40, ni hii ni 25. So calculate the distance of car A from the base of the tower. So hii ambayo iko hapa, let me use a highlighter. Hii ambayo iko hapa is equal to, again, sio huwa majiuliza, is equal to this one ambayo iko hapa, kwa sababu hata ukiangalia side yake ni hii hapa. Sawa, so be very careful. So hii ndo 40, so just this one is 40, and then there's car A. Car A ni 25, so hapa ni 25, kwa sababu the more you reach the tower the higher the angle. So let's say for example, huu mtu ambaye iko karibu na hii tower na mtu ambaye iko mbali na hiyo tower, ule ambaye iko karibu ndo atachukua angle kubwa kuliko ile ambaye iko mbali na hiyo tower. So logically it is making sense. So hapa ni 25 degrees. Now question A says calculate the distance of the car A, that is the car A, from the base of the tower. So car A from the base of the tower, watafuta distance which is easiest one, lakini kuna mbili sawa. But why they are asking this? Very easy. Kuna question C, I don't know, maybe. Oh yeah, iko ndo maana. Now calculate this distance. Let's draw the triangle itself. So kuna triangle that looks like this. This is the tower and this is car A, na angle yako hapa tayari tumepewa ni 25. So this is 25 degrees and the height is 150 meters. So distance from here to here, so it's easy again. So sisi tutatafuta adjacent na tayari tuko na opposite. Opposite ni hii, hatujaulizwa tutafute hypotenuse. So kitu ambayo iko na opposite na adjacent, I've repeated several times, ni tan. Toa opposite of adjacent, opposite yako ni 150 over adjacent yako haujui, na angle yako ni 25 degrees, so tan 25. So again we said you change them, substitute them, so x itaenda juu is equal to 150 divided by tan 25, and therefore x is going to be equal to 150 divided by tan 25 is going to give you 321.68 meters. That is the answer to this question. What about calculate the distance of car B from the base of the tower? Jo hapa car B ni hii, so tutachora triangle ambao ni hii hapa. ambayo iko na angle ya 40 na tumeambiwa tutafute the distance of this one from the base of the tower. So wacha tuchore. Sawa. So tuchore. So this is car B, the angle is 40 degrees and the height of the tower is still the same, haibadiliki. We know it's 150 meters. So we know it's 150 meters. So sisi tutatafuta tena hii, which is the adjacent one. So tan 40 is equal to opposite over adjacent. Opposite yako ni 150 over adjacent yako haujui ni x. So interchange once more. X is equal to 150 divided by tan 40. So x is equal to what? 150 divided by tan 40. That gives you 178.76 meters, and that is your answer. Last question. Hence, find the distance between car A and car B. Car A and car B, that is the car A and car B. I don't know which one is car B, but all in all, yani the distance between these two, that is from here to here. So to find the distance, lazima tujue the distance of car A from the base of the tower, and the distance is 321.68. So 321.68, that is the from A to tower, the base of the tower. Then you minus it from B to the base, and that is the 178.76 minus 178.76. Sawa, kwa sababu hii ni from A to tower na kuna from B to tower. So ukichukua yote minus hii kadogo itakupatia from A to B. So if you subtract it, how much will it give us? 321.68 minus that one is going to give you 142.92 meters or so. Now that is your answer. Now tumechukua more time in this topic. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu nataka muelewe. So let's go to the last part of this topic itself. Now, last question. A surveyor standing at point A observes the angle of elevation. Wacha tuchore kabla hujaona mchoro. A surveyor standing at point A, which is here, observe the angle of elevation of the top of the tower to be 30. So hapa ni 30 degrees, and this is the tower itself. He then walks 50 meters towards the tower. So yatembea kidogo, then she walks 50 meters towards the tower. She then walks to point B, so hii ni 50 meters. So this is the 150 meters. Sawa? So 50 meters towards the tower to point B in a straight line with the base of the tower, and observes the angle of elevation of the top of the tower now to be 60. So hapa ni 60 degrees. Sawa? So this is x, this is 50 as shown below. Hopefully tumeelewana. So your diagram should be something like this, which is very true. Now, question says, hapo imeandikwa this is a challenging question. Kwa wale ambao waweza fanya. Calculate the height of the tower correct to 2 decimal places. Calculate the height of the tower correct to 2 decimal places. Now, the distance from here to here hatujui, let's say in x. The distance of the height of the tower, and the height of the tower is y. So wacha tuchore hizo two triangles. The one triangle ni ya kutoka A mpaka tower, which is 30 degrees, and the distance from the bottom of the tower mpaka A is x plus 50, and the height is y, which you don't know. The other triangle is the smaller triangle, and that is this one hii hapa, in which hapa ni 60 degrees, and this is y as usual, and the distance is x. So hizi tukizichora hapa, at least itakuwa rahisi kwetu, kwa maana wacha nichore hivi. So hapa ni 30, hapa ni x plus 50, na hapa ni y, and then we have the smaller one, which is x hapa ni 60 degrees, na hii ni y, hatujui. Now hapa tuko na opposite na kuna adjacent on both the triangles. So in short tutatumia tan kwa sababu ya toa. So tan theta, which is tan 30, is equal to opposite, which is y over adjacent. Hii ni opposite, hii ni adjacent, y over x plus 50. Na hiyo nyingine pia is the same. Opposite of adjacent, tan 60 is equal to y over x. Now let's do this way. Let's multiply by x, multiply by x. So at the end of the day, your y is going to be equal to x tan 60. Now let's remove the x plus 50 also on this side, times it by x plus 50. So utapata x plus 50 times tan 30 is also equal to y. Now hii ni y, hii ni y. Why not equate them together? So wacha tuilete x tan 60 hapa. So wacha tuilete x tan 60 hapa because that is also y. Now let me just remove this for now, but wacha tuweke tu just for in case tukitumia x tan 60 is equal to 1. So that is y. So now tan 30 ni ngapi? Tan 30 ni 0.5774. 0.5774. So let's multiply times e times e. So 0.5774 times x ni 0.5774x. Now 0.5774 times 50 is going to be times 50 is going to be 28.87 is equal to x times tan 60. Tan 60 ni 1.732. So itakuwa 1.732x. So now let's collect like terms. Like terms will be hii itaenda the other side. So 28.87 is equal to 1.732x minus 0.5774x. So 28.87 is equal to, subtract the 2, 5774, that gives you 1.1547 x. So divide this one, tutoa hii 1.1547, divide by 1.1547, x is equal to, take 28.87 divided by that is going to give you x to be 25 meters. So this is not the height of the tower. The height of the tower, this is not the height of the tower, by the way. So yeah, this is the height, this is the distance from B to this one. Remember, kuna pahali tumeandika x tan 60 is equal to y. Kuna pahali tumeandika y is equal to x tan 60. X tayari tushapata, so y is equal to, x yetu ni 25 times tan 60. Y is equal to 25, answer tan 60, you're going to get 43.31. And that is now the answer. So hii ndo answer yenyewe. So again, kama huja subscribe, continue to subscribe. Continue, start to subscribe, continue again. Uweze utasubscribe mara moja tu. Subscribe, share to your friends, like a lot kama hutaki kulike, share bana. Ama comment pia. Naona siku hizi mashallah napata comments nyingi. I'll try to open up all those comments and reply back to them. I'm replying, naona comments kibao siku hizi. So yes, in case you need another topic you can say so. Kuna moja amesema ataka trigonometry, shakufanyia trigonometry. Kuna moja amesema ataka reflection, is on the way, so don't worry about that. So huwa nasikiza nyinyi tu, my audience. Baada tushamaliza hiyo yote, kuna moja amesema tuanze na biology, mwingine anasema tumalize business yote. I'm going to do that, so don't worry. So inshallah, wabillahi tawfiq.